Hello everyone, and welcome to a game of World of Warships. Base replays from myself, and I'm in the Giulio Cesare, and I'm terribly sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Now I'm on the map Big Race, in a standard battle. I'm in a division with a friend, and we are top tier, which is pretty nice. There is a failed platoon St. Louis in our team. But, you know, at low tiers I'm not expecting much. And I think pretty soon World of Warships will be released on Steam, so there will probably be a lot of new players. So I guess can expect a lot of inexperience soon in the lower tiers. Anyway, so I'm slowly moving here along the beeline in the north. It's a low tier map, it's a small map, and as a battleship you really don't want to go here too far in the south, because that's usually where destroyers are playing around and you get caught quite easily by torpedoes. And hey, there are citadels. So battleships are more often brawling here in the upper right corner, and considering this is a small map, you know, even if you are here in this corner you're pretty fast defending. And we can already see there is a huge enemy fleet coming in this corner, which is pretty common. My team, on the other hand, isn't really that interested, so I can't move too far forward. And this is why I'm already turning around, and this might hurt. Well, wasn't too bad. Now, the Giulio Cesare is quite an agile little ship, so I shouldn't have too much trouble here turning around and retreating. Obviously, I cannot push against this massive force, not with some backup. And my backup is still sitting in the cap. My division mate has already realized what's going on, and he isn't pushing in this direction any further. Now, this Isokase here could provide smoke for me, but as I said, it's a low tier battle. Don't expect too much from other players. A lot of people will be new, they won't know how this game works or how to best utilize their ships. And let's be honest, even in high tiers, oftentimes destroyers won't do that. Also with the smoke changes, smoke isn't that effective anymore for battleships anyway. But doesn't matter, I also have great concealment in Fury. If I wanna drop into stealth, but then again it's a small map. But it's not actually looking that bad. Well, ship-wise our team is quite a bit behind, but I would say, successfully made my retreat here. And now we have 4 battleships here. That should be enough to hold any push from them. Here in the south we have... I guess we have control over this area down here in the south, but... doesn't look like those ships are pushing anywhere anytime soon. Now I'd really like to sink the low tier October Revolution over there, because... not low tier, low health. Letting a low tier battleship survive is... not low tier, low health battleship survive is always a bit problematic, because they can't just retreat and heal up. But he got just hit by a torpedo. And he is very low health. He is healing already. So if we can sink that October Revolution now, then, I mean, it's one less enemy ship, but if he manages to retreat here, get unspotted again, then he can just sit there, wait, recover some of his health and return stronger. Unfortunately, there isn't much I can do about it. This was, I think, the last salvo that I could get into this ship, and now he will just sit behind this island probably and wait for his heal. Our team is still 3 ships behind, but there we go. Somebody had just landed a nice hit on that Karlsruhe. The Karlsruhe is slowly retreating behind an island while showing broadside. No, that's not how you wanna do it, because I just got a citadel into him and I sunk him. Now let's see if we can get some nice hits on the Kirov, and that's... those are only overpens. Nothing surprising, but I was still hoping for more. So our force is pretty much here defending the cap, considering that we have less ships. That might be a good idea, and if the enemy is willing to push into us, we are more than happy to engage them. And Eof is retreating. He is clever enough to not show broadside, so not expecting too much. Also looks like we are getting the Fujin over there, and there was one hit, but the Kirov dropped into stealth. Now if the enemy team were to just fall back, then we would have to push, because they have the points and the ship advantage. So the ball is in our court basically. But we are getting closer to equalizing things. And right now it's actually pretty nice. The battleships stopped in the top right corner. And with us retreating, we can now engage some other ships. And those battleships, they aren't doing overly much. They should have either pushed in or retreated already towards the center. And hey, I got myself a citadel. And a nice little cruiser. So now we are completely equal. Both teams have the same amount of ships, the same amount of points. Well, I mean, to know if we were truly equal, we would have to look at the hit points of all individual ships, but yeah. It's suddenly looking a lot better than it was, and look, there is a cruiser pushing in broadside. Goodbye. Well, that was satisfying. Now, both of the destroyers are here in this corner. This means I can't go too far in this direction, and I'll have to be careful of torpedoes. But I do have a Mutsuki in front of me, and if this Mutsuki is willing to spot and engage those destroyers, I will certainly help out. A Phoenix is here as well, and with our few little ships here, should be able to deal with those. I don't have other targets to shoot anyway, but still it would be the right choice to go for those destroyers. Getting rid of them will be a huge deal in securing our victory. And those destroyers are completely alone pushing in, and we have quite a few ships here. So our destroyer here has a lot of support. And that was a pretty nice hit. Now I'm switching to high explosive against destroyers. It's the better choice, and the Giulio Cesare has pretty good high explosive anyway. So that's one ship dealt with. There still is an Isokaze around, and I'm healing up a little bit more damage. While I'm not engaged with those other battleships here and not really taking any damage, it's also great for me to just recover some health. Unless I sail into some Isokaze torpedoes, this is pretty good here. And meanwhile, our team has a big ship lead. So, looking pretty good. The enemy battleships here have finally retreated from the top right corner and are more or less going towards their cap. And while most enemy remaining forces are gathering in a defense, there is still the Isokaze around here. Now I'm not going hunting a destroyer. I will try to set some fire to this enemy battleship. I'm waiting to pass this island so that my shots will not all hit the mountain. And I was preparing here to help against the Isokaze, but somebody has to go find that Isokaze first, and that will not be me. If that's not happening, then I'm just pushing in here. As I said, it's a small map, and even if I would sail straight towards their cap, I could probably turn around and defend in time. The Giulio Cesare is quite a fast battleship for hit here. And I'm not sure what the enemy is doing here. I mean, at this point I should probably go to armor piercing because he is showing so much broadside. And this is exactly what I'm doing now. Fired off my shells. And the next salvo will be armor piercing. Then again, the Giulio Cesare is probably already sinking by the time my guns are reloaded. So, slowly sailing backwards while showing broadside to the enemy fleet, not a good tactic, no matter what ship you are in. And there is Confederate. Looks like my fire got him. So we are up to 4 kills now. There is a potentially Kraken here. I just need one more and I get myself a Kraken, and there are still 4 ships left, so let's see if it's going to happen. Still no sight from the Isokase. The Isokase could try to backdoor us, I suppose, but we still have ships around here. You'd have to be really bold to try to sneak back through this, and as I said, it's easy to come back and defend. But no, the Isokase retreated and he is together with his fleet. Probably a solid choice. They are gathering their forces and are making a last stand inside their cap. Would be obviously a lot better last stand if they weren't showing so much broadside. Now I'm expecting the Isokase to have launched torpedoes in my direction. I'm inside his torpedo range and I have armor piercing loaded, but the overpenetrations hurt him a lot anyway. The problem is I don't know at which point he launched torpedoes, right? So they could be coming from anywhere in basically this line in front of me. So if it launched them from somewhere here, then I'm not very well angled right now. So I'm turning a little bit more in that direction. And well, this is getting close, but I managed to squeeze through. So nice. That some torpedoes dodged. Obviously low tier destroyers have a rather fast torpedo reload. It's quite possible that soon there will be more, but at this point, I mean, we have won the game anyway. There isn't much to be afraid of anymore. I can just push in and shoot some ships. Now, I might just be shooting the October Revolution once more. But going for the Isokase is probably the best choice here, because getting rid of a destroyer is very important. But the low health battleship was a very tempting target as well, so more torpedoes coming, but those torpedoes are missing by a lot. Unfortunately, my guns are currently not reloaded. 6.5 kilometers, I'd have decent chance of hitting the Isokase, I suppose, if he is sailing just broadside on towards me and not trying to dodge. So guns are almost reloaded. I'm still at armor piercing, but I don't care. 2 overpens or so should be enough to sink the Isokase, I suppose. And again, I could also just miss, but my teammates finished him off. So only 1 ship remaining, not looking good for my Kraken. But anyway, it was a satisfying win. Now let's just see who managed to sink that Kaiser, or if the Kaiser can leave a map where I had a zone wall. Spoiler alert, it's not possible. And there is the win. Let's take a look at the results, and honestly I'm surprised that the enemy Giulio Cesare was a rank 1 player, considering that he was showing so much broadside and reversing just in open waters. Then again, I don't know, maybe his engine was damaged or something, maybe there were some circumstances forcing him into that, or maybe he was just drinking and having fun. I suppose anything is possible. Now myself, I managed to get 1781 base experience, and I'm quite happy with this game. Obviously it was just some low tier fun. Now I earned myself Confederate Devastating Strike, Fireproof, Dreadnought and High Caliber. I scored 119,000 points of damage, and might not have been the highest level of gameplay, but I hope you enjoyed watching some low tier fun, and I'll see you guys next time.